Hey, welcome back to edtech. Today I'm back again with yet another JavaScript array method, which is the sort method. And what happens in a sort method is it will sort your elements, rather rearrange your elements in a particular order, given order. It could be an ascending order or a descending order. It could be numbers or words, alphabets, etc. So let's get started with some examples, and just keep in mind when you're doing this, usually it is done by using a compare function where you are comparing elements, where you're considering, uh, let's consider sorting of elements using compare function. So compare function is like this. You have like two elements A, B, and then you're comparing them. So usually going by the book, if A minus B, if you're using A minus B less than 0, or if you say A less than B, return -1, whichever way, then it's in ascending order. If you want to return B minus A, or if you want to return A greater than B, returning 1, right, then it's in a descending order. So that's the rule. That's just a compare function rule. So let's get started. In my source code, I've mentioned the rule typically, so you can read that out. Here I'm just explaining it verbally. So let's get started. Let me show an example so that you can understand better. Okay, 4 2 7 4 2 7 3 1. Yeah, so I want to sort this. Numbers dot sort. I use the compare function. So this is how you use a compare function, function AB. This is a compare function typically. And then you return. So if you, going by the rule, if you say return A minus B, this is a typical rule, then you will get ascending order. The sorting will be done in the ascending order. Sorry, console.log. I just want to see the result. So let's save this and let's check out the console. Just ignore the first one, just look at this. So it's 1 2 3 4 7 1 2 3 4 7. I'm just going to clear this so that there's no confusion later. Okay, now if I say B minus A, then it should be the other way around, decreasing order. So let's see it. 7 4 3 2 1. There you go. Okay, clear it. Okay, now let's consider another function. I just change it here to make it easier so that you're not confused. Let's call it num with the same values, right? So I show you another way. Okay, let me bring this down. Okay, so let me bring this down also. So instead of using the regular function here, I'm just using a shortcut, that is arrow function. This is called a thick arrow function, just to show you. It's nothing major. I've not taken a tutorial on that, but I'm just showing you here so that you know also, because many programmers use this. So instead of this function, just remove this function. It's quite easy. Just remove the word function. And then here after this parenthesis, just do an arrow sign, that is equal to followed by greater sign, right? And then here you don't need this either. This is the shortcut. So A, B, and then this closure of this a minus b. Quite simple, right? So you have the first parenthesis. Inside that you make the second parenthesis where you compare a, b, then the arrow, and then a minus b. Return a minus b. Then console.log. Okay. So normally it's quite simple. All you need to do is, I show you again. Just write one parenthesis first, inside that another parenthesis a, b, and then come out of the second parenthesis, write the arrow, and then a minus b. That's all to it. So this is the arrow function. Yeah, and then you don't have to return here. Sorry, I forgot to remove that because it's already returned inside the arrow function. Then console.log numbers and save. Yeah, then let's bring up. Oh, sorry. Okay, console.log num. I'm just using the wrong name here. Okay, save it. Okay, let's check it out. Let me clear this first. Here also I made a mistake. It's num because I was using the same one. I forgot to save. I use a updated name. So here you go. So our num is this num.sort arrow function a minus b console.log num. You have this increasing. In the same place, if I write b minus a, save it again. There you go, decreasing order. Clear? Okay, done. Now you consider. So what I'll do is I'll just remove the whole thing here to make it easy. Okay, I'll just keep doing one at a time. Okay, so let's consider names. Names array. Yeah, with some names. I just consider few names. Let's just get done with 3 names. Yeah, so I want to sort this. So names dot sort, just use it without any compare function and let's see what happens. Okay, save this. Oh, I forgot to clear the first one. I need to do it again. Let me call it name. Name, because I cleared the console. Name. Okay, let's check out the result. There you go. You have Anne, Mike, Peter. The first letters are alphabetically in an increasing order, if you can see here. Anne, Mike, Peter. Sorry, it's quite tricky to. Anne, Mike, Peter. Yeah, okay. Now, okay, what if I want this in decreasing order, descending order rather? This is ascending, so I need to use a compare function, right? So because ascending order is by default, so if I want to have a descending order, I need to use a compare function. So what I do is here, so I just make it names, and then, but first before that I want to clear this. Okay, so let names be this. So names dot sort. Okay, now before doing this, okay, I just clear again. Okay, so names dot sort I want to do with a compare function. Let's do the arrow function a b, right? The shortcut arrow function. Okay, now in this case it's a bit different compared to the simple arrow function that we did here. So just remember, this is the way you need to do. So after coming out with the small parenthesis, you need to make the curly braces. Slightly complicated, but you'll get used to it. If a greater than b, right, return -1. Now you can do with curly braces or without curly braces, but I prefer to do it this way. If a greater than b, return -1. Usually for ascending order is a less than b, return -1, but since you want the descending, we just change the rule. And if a less than b, return 1. So I'm just changing the rule here to get the descending order. Return or else return 0. Now when you say return 0 is like when you don't change. So the first one I'm considering is for the descending. Okay, so that it gets a preference for the descending. Okay, console.log names. Is it names or name? Okay, let's save this. Let's drag the console and check. There you go. It's Peter, Mike, Anne. So it's descending order. P, then M, then A, as you can see. Okay. Now what we do is we consider some more example. We consider an example of an object. I just remove this. So in order to save time, I'm just copy it from my file, initial file. Okay, let's consider an object, items. Okay, Control C. Okay, so this is an object, items. This has a name to it, and a price attribute with a value. Name, price attribute with a value. So name attribute, price attribute, that means it has like a name and a value and a description. So this kind of list will work as your object. So this is an object, right? So I want to sort this object. So items.sort function AB, same that we were doing earlier. The only difference is here where using the notation for JavaScript notation, naming the naming rule. If I want to give a name to name A, then what do I do? By notation style A.name. For variable name B, B.name. This is the notation rule, if you remember, we've learned earlier. So if you don't understand, you can ask me about it. So if instead of saying A less than B, we say, because we've created two variables, so we created this. So name A less than name B, as we just showed you in the previous example, return -1. So this is for a typical ascending, right? And then we continue in that order. One second. If name A greater than name B, return 1. If you remember, I always told you a less than b, return minus 1. If it comes first, that means we want the ascending. So here I want the ascending. Then I write for the descending rule, and then I write for nothing, change nothing, which is 0. So whatever you want first, you write it first. I want the ascending one here. And then I go out of, what did we do wrong? Sorry. Where is my function? Okay, I need to do this again because something went wrong with the loop. Okay. Let me do it again. Let's rerun again. It's practice for you guys. After this, I forgot the closing here. It's very important in JavaScript. Okay, so now it should be. No, it's still not okay. Still not okay because I pasted it from there. Items.sort. Okay. So first this parenthesis, then another parenthesis, right? And then here function a, b, and then come out of it the curly brackets. Now we are on line. Okay, now use the same thing. We create two variables. Name a equals a dot name notation, the JavaScript naming rule, the dot notation a dot name variable name b equal to b dot notation name. Okay, done. Then the conditions, if name a, because we want the ascending order, less than name b, return -1 for ascending orders. Go here. If name a greater than name b, return 1 for the descending. So first ascending which I want, last return 0 if I don't want anything changed. That is the last option. So this is going to return you the result for ascending. Then console.log items. Oh, sorry, what was the name? Yeah, items. This was actually the items object. Sorry. Yeah, there you go. Don't just ignore this because sometimes in CodePen it is showing like that. Okay, so you have it here. There you go. They have returned this. I wanted the name, remember the name to be returned in ascending order. So first is B, the first letter, then you have K, then P, then S. So it is in ascending order, increasing order with the alphabet names of the first letters of the names. So now I want to do the same thing, but okay, let's say if I want to do it the other way around. If the same thing here, what if I do this first one before? Okay, so if I say name A greater than B, return 1, and less than this, return minus. Let's just check it out. Oh my god, this console is very tricky. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, here you go. Oh, it's still doing. Did I save? Okay, it is still doing the same thing primarily because I did a mistake here. I put the minus sign in the wrong place. Oh, just a typo. When I type fast, this always happens. Okay, let's check it out. Quite stressful, this console.log. Where is mine? Okay, let me do it again. Okay, let me check it. Oh, I know why. Okay, there you go. Typo again. Okay, now you're fine. So now you can see it's still not changed. I know why. Because name greater than a greater than b should be -1 and this should be 1. Sorry about that. Yeah, now we are good to go. So now it's in the reverse order. As you can see, b is coming the last. So what went wrong earlier was, okay, so usually we say name a less than b, return -1 in the first place. So here we say name a greater than b, that is the other way around, return -1. Then you will get in the reverse order. That is all the difference. If you remember earlier, it was a less than b, name a less than b, return -1 in the first place. So now I just change all. So name a greater than name b, return -1. Second place also I increase and decrease, vice versa. Yeah, you can see it in my notes later. So this is done. Okay, now you have another example. Okay, in the same one, here I'm sorting it out with the names. So in the same items, I'm not removing everything. I'll just change something here, some variables. Like I want to sort the price, let's say. So instead of name A, to make it easier, price A, and instead of name B, price B. Yeah, and then I just change something, some typo here, price price, so price A greater than price B and price A less than price B, price A less than price B. That's it. Console and then return, right? This is, remember, for the decreasing order of price. And then, okay, let's see what is the result. Okay, so here you have the price. As you can see, here it's price 520. Okay, it's not yet settled here, the price. It should be ideally 5, 10, 20. Sorry, it should be 200 should come first. So something is gone wrong here. Let me check it out again. Oh yes, I know what. The notation a dot name, it should be a dot price. Forgot to change that as well. And a dot price, the notation. In the notation I forgot to change the name to price. That's why it was not showing the result effectively. Okay, now let's check it out. Okay, there you go, decreasing order 200, 20, 10, 5. So we are all set. Now the same thing, if I do here price A less than price B, return -1, and if I just changed this only, return -1, save, I will get it in ascending order. Let's check it. There you go, 5, 10, 20. So I hope you understood. All I did was change the first the sign. When you do the first one as less than, A less than B, return -1, you get ascending order. Then A greater than B less than -1, you get descending, as we've seen earlier. Okay. Now, is there anything else to teach? Now, if you're just considering an array of, let's say, one second. Okay, let me just remove all this. Okay, let's change this, delete. Okay, and then let's clear the console. Okay, let me say, let me consider another, let me consider an array again. Okay, so let's say, let me consider an array country. You can call it country, countries, whatever. Right? Why this is not clearing? Okay, Australia, New Zealand. I just take only 3 examples. Yeah, so I want to sort this. Okay, I want to sort it in ascending order. So dot sort AB with the compare function, arrow function. I'm just showing you different styles you can do, that's why. Okay, yeah, so same, if the conditions, if A less than B, return -1. So this is for ascending order, if you remember. If A greater than B, return 1. Yeah, and then otherwise return 0. So in this, typically you will be getting ascending order, if you remember. console.log country okay, let's save this. There you go. For some reason I cannot push this. Okay, we'll just see it here. Australia, New Zealand, United States. So it's in ascending order, the first letters, as you can see, right? What if I make it greater than, I make this less than, save, check it out. There you go. Now United States, New Zealand, Australia. So you got it? Okay, just one more example. Now what if there are like mixed alphabets, like uppercase, mixed cases, uppercase, lowercase, and then you want to sort it out? Then there's a way of doing it. So I will continue in the same example. So let country equal to this, right? So in one of them, I will say, oh, instead of United States, let's just use a simpler one, okay? Malaysia. Instead of New Zealand. Okay, let's say this is in small, and this one is uppercase, lowercase. This is in lowercase, bigger case, uppercase. What do I do then? So country.sort. I just want to use the function in this case. Function AB, okay. I don't use this. Okay, so here what I want to do is I just delete all this. There's another way of doing, because this is mixed cases, you need to do something here. So I need to create two variables. Let x equals a dot, so the first compare functions for the two elements, right? So the first element a dot to uppercase, you've done this already, you want to change this to uppercase. Then let y is another variable equals b dot to. The reason why you're doing this, because normally when it is comparing, it will convert to string and then do. So if it changes in the string to both to uppercase and then do, there won't be a mistake in sorting. So this is the reason you're doing it. So in this case, you have to use a ternary operator. I've already done a tutorial on ternary operator. I will include a link in the description, or I will make another tutorial if it's not already there. You can check it out. Okay, so return. No, I do remember having done a tutorial on that. I'll include a link. So return. So you have to return x. So this is ternary operator is like condition. If one condition is true, it's like a boolean. So if one condition is true, then this is a result. If that is not true, then something else is a result. So let's see. You can go and check out the tutorial there. If x equal y equal to y in the value, sorry, y question mark. So if this is true, is this true? If true, okay, let's repeat that. Return x. If x equal to y, the value of the x equal to y, then if it is true, then 0, right? So that means there is no sorting done. The sorting remains unchanged. If it is false, it will be false because the cases are changed. So if it is false, then if x greater than y, that is the first one versus the second one, yeah, that is if it is descending order, if true, return 1. So this is for descending, otherwise return -1. That means this will be ascending. So let's see how this goes. Save. Yeah. So you have the result here. So you have the result here, which is Australia, India, and Malaysia. It didn't change the case. It was done to ignore the change in case in some of them, right? So in this case, what happens? You get it in increasing, ascending order. So this is the ternary operator. In this case, x was not equal to y, right? Because of because they are different, and case was also different. But we changed the case to both uppercase while during the process of sorting. And then we say if it is equal, completely equal, then there is no change in sorting. But if x is greater than y, then 1. So in descending, otherwise it is ascending. So in this case, particularly what's happening is, in order to get in ascending order, you need to do this. Okay, what if you do here? Save. Then it will be descending order. So just keep this in mind. In the ternary operator, it's if you do x greater than y in the first place, then you will get descending order. X less than y, the first one is less than the second, right? In terms of the sorting I'm talking about. Then you return 1 because this is for, if you remember, descending, because for ascending it is -1, right? If x less than y, if true, you are getting 1. What does that mean? It is descending order, because for ascending it's always -1. So that's why when it was greater than y, if it is true, it was 1, but it was not true. If it is not true but returning -1, then it is ascending order. That's why it was in ascending order. I hope you understood and there's no confusion to that. So I hope you understood all the complete lesson, and I hope there is no further confusion on this. So if you still have any confusion, you can mention it in the comment section and I'll reply to you if at all there's any doubt. So I will see you in the next lesson. And if you're yet not subscribed, do remember to press the bell button so that you will be reminded of all the notifications on a regular basis. And also to support my channel, do remember to like, share and subscribe. See you in the next lesson. Bye.